Hey guys, XJ9's here, and today we're going to be doing the patch 11.14 notes. I think it's going to be an interesting patch. I know the gist of it. I don't pay attention to PV that much after the initial rounds. I just have a general idea on what to expect. So that's good to know. So we're just going to right into it. Make it nice and quick. Akali, her Q, uh, 5-point strike can no longer be cast while dashing while E shuriken flip. This is just pretty much less burst in her combo. It also means potentially she might also be a little bit more clunky, but I think it's just allow the player to actually like react and read the Akali more, because if she gets an E on you, pretty much means the Q's not gonna miss. So that's good to me. Our perfect execution base recast minimum damage was 75 to 215. Now it's 60 to 200. And base recast maximum damage, it was 225 to 645. Now it's 180 to 600. But overall, it's just pretty much less burst and base recast. Yeah, recast. So the recast is also the second part, not the first part. So her second part execution damage in general went lower by quite a bit, especially actually quite a bit, especially like if you her first pointer ult. So that's actually quite big nerfs, honestly, in terms of her burst and everything. That looks good. Darius, uh, Q, I mean, it's passive. Knocks you my bonus attack damage. It was 20 to 205. Now it's 30 to 230. Upper hand cooldown was 26 to 18. Now it's 24 to 14. I think that's the upper hand nerf is just a revert of what the nerf they did to him before. He maxes that second, so overall, it's just probably because of the whole stride breaker change. So really nothing else to say. I guess just to adjust his win rate a little bit. Um, so really, you're only going to notice these changes at level 8, 10, 11, 13, 12, and 12. And if you get your 5 stacks of your passive. Mundo getting quite a lot of changes with the whole jungle and stuff. I really wonder what was finalized. So right off the bat, attack speed was 0.67. Now it's 0.72. That's quite nice because, well, actually, I'm just going to finish reading everything. So 0.67 to 0.72. Passive health regen was 2% of his maximum HP. Now it's 1 to 2% of his maximum HP. Levels 1 through 18. Quite important. That's the one thing about those changes is, well, uh, it's level 1 through 18. It's like 1 to 13, so that's quite interesting. Cooldown, 45. It was 45 seconds to 15 seconds. Levels 1 through 16. Now it's 60 to 15. Levels 1 through 16. I'm just gonna finish reading this and then I'll review it. Q, infected bone saw. More monster HP. Infected bone saw now heals for 100% of the health cost if it hits a monster. Now the same as if it hits an enemy champion. E, blunt force trauma. Small monsters are immediately sent away regardless of whether it dies. Bonus damage to monsters was 140%. Now it's 200%. Bonus damage remaining unchanged at 140%. So let's dissect this. So first off, attack speed being buffed is quite big for jungle. Helps him clear faster, and I'll be honest, his auto animation it's nice, but like it somewhat feels like he's lacking attack speed. So I think this will fix his auto issues, because sometimes I go to auto E. Maybe my auto is going, but it just doesn't look like it sometimes. So that just helps a lot with that, and this helps his clearing and is autoing. The health regen nerf. That's why. I'm not sure if it's like I'm not sure if he's overperforming in lane or if it's to compensate because he's getting attack speed buffs because they don't want him to overperform in lane. Obviously, not quite sure, but maybe his passive was being too strong, especially late at like level 13. Because at level 13, your passive was a 20-second cooldown. If you picked it up, it would refresh 15 seconds. So your passive was pretty much always up at level 13. I'm curious on what the cooldown is at level 13 now, since it's 60 to 15. We don't really know on how it will scale. Maybe it scales linearly, maybe it scale. We don't know. Uh, this that is quite. I mean, early game, honestly, the nerf doesn't really matter in jungle, but it matters more so with lane. So that's more of a lane nerf. Bonesaw healing you for full HP on jungle monsters is absolutely huge for sustain, actually, because it pretty much means like, when you're jungling, you're usually throwing like 3-4 Qs a camp, if not more. So each camp, you're like 100 plus HP healthier, which is quite nice, especially early, and also like in between fights. So that's actually really good. Your Q is pretty much free now, so that's really good. E also being able to knock away small monsters is absolutely huge. It will help us clear a lot, make it a lot simpler and more like because you had to calculate it really like heavily like to be super optimal. You'd have to memorize at what point in time your E will kill it and like based on it was really complicated. And also since his E both the on hit and the knockback that it applies as well will now deal 200% increased damage instead of 140. This change is also quite nice just because, well, uh, I think later on in the game he starts clearing a bit too slow, so this actually helps him a lot with his clearing and encourages maxing it second more. Um, they were going to do W changes, but I guess they pulled that. I think the W's is being experimented on what they want to do with it because a lot of the reception about the W is that it's very underwhelming and they probably just want to make it feel better. So curious on what they'll end up doing with Mundo's W eventually, but because I'm sure they're going to do something to it. Because it's probably the most underwhelming part of this whole entire kit in terms of feel. But yeah, this buff, the attack speed buff and the E having a higher ratio to clear it faster is huge. And yeah, just being able to knock away the small monsters. I don't know if this also includes medium Krugs. It probably doesn't, honestly, because it would say all not all monsters, but like I don't know. It might. It probably won't though. That's so overall. Mundo Jungle got a massive buff. Honestly, overall, the health nerf on here doesn't really matter that much, honestly, because again he gets his Q. This Q heal is way better than the health nerf here, and also since he kills things faster with the attack speed in his E, the health doesn't matter. This doesn't matter for jungle. It's a very good jungler right now. Very good. Bonus movement speed on Garen was 30% on his Q. Now it's 35%. Slight buff to his movement speed. His R damage from target missing HP was 20 to 3%. Now it's 25 to 35%. Again, it's just a stride breaker tuning. Not much to say there. Not that's just data driven. Graves attack damage. 66 to 68. It's on scaling, so it's flat AD. Reasoning, buffing upgrades is the only way we know how, and also he's been really struggling in the current meta. Honestly, I think it's because they're making that new skin for him. Calling me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm pretty sure that's why. Alawi, base movement speed increased. Her movement speed was 340, now it's 350. This is actually quite big. Like really big. Honestly, her win rate will probably go up by like 2 or 3%. Honestly, probably even 3%. Just move 10 movement speed. That's like unheard of. Usually it's like 5 movement speed minus 5 movement speed plus 10 movement speed. That's insane. I wish Vi got that. If Vi got that, she'd be really good, but she doesn't get that. So yeah, this is really big because she's a positioning reliant champion as well. So that's just interesting. You're probably gonna see a lot more Alawi, honestly, because that's massive. That's like half a boot. Uh, Aurelia, a lot of changes with Aurelia. Base stats, health was 580, now it's 520. Magic resist was 33, now it's 28. Health growth was 95, now it's 110. So she scales a bit more. She's not as strong early. So that's what I'm reading from here. Passive Ionian Favor. Mass stacks was 5, now it's 4, making it a bit easier to manage. Bonus attack speed per stack was 8 to 16%, now it's 7.5 to 20%. How do I feel about that? Well, it's the same amount of attack. Well, no, it's actually not the same amount. It's 10% less attack speed. So that's quite interesting. She can stack it faster because she'll get the true damage when she procs it. Less attack speed, though. Power damage was 15 to 66. Now it's 10 to 6. Oh, so it was. Her empowered passive was 15 to 66 plus 25% bonus AD. Now it's 10 to 61, 30% bonus AD. What do I feel about that? Pretty much means it's slightly weaker early, but its scale is better. So again, it's just hurting her early game a little bit because she's very strong early, I believe. Q Blaze Surge. Dash speed was 1500 plus 100% movement speed. Now it's 1400 plus 100% movement speed. That's very slight. Honestly, that's very small. Bonus damage to minions was 55 to 135. Now it's 55 plus 12 per champion level. I feel about that honestly. Not sure how I feel about that. Is this interesting? Maybe it's because I think overall it's overall a big buff to her honestly. Um, and they didn't really change. Well, it may be also because they lowered well, I don't know. That's overall a really big buff. It pretty much means that CSing with her Q is a lot easier. So that it also helps people because again the problem with Aurelia with Riot is that she's very hard for newer players to play her. So they're just trying to make her easier to play overall really, because uh, now instead of your Q only dealing 135 max damage, you're gonna be dealing 55 plus 12 and 12. Yeah, that's 216. Yeah, so yeah, 220. Yeah, 200 or 271. Yeah, 271 damage with her passive compared to 135, I believe. That's quite insane. That's a lot. That's really easy to see. Yes. W Defiant Stance. A Defiant Dance. Base damage reduction was 50% physical. Now it's 40 to 80% physical. 20 to 40 magic. However, this scales with level. It does not scale with rank. That is very important to note. So probably around, I don't know, level 5 about, it will end up doing more good for you. It'll reduce more physical. 80% physical damage reduction is nuts, by the way. That's nuts. Plus 40, plus the magic reduction is absolutely nuts. 80% damage reduction is nuts, but again, you won't only get that like late game. But so overall, she pretty much in general got a magic resist reduction on her W on top of physical, so that's quite powerful. Um, Maximum damage was 20 to 140 plus 100% 80 plus 80% AP. Now it's 30 to 210 plus 150% 80 to 120 AP. So pretty much early. I'm not even sure if Aurelia is max this second or third. They might even. I don't know. It has such a high AD ratio. You definitely win. I think you'd probably max E. I honestly don't know if the whole cooldown thing. But well, I'm gonna look just for the sake of it, because again, I'm pretty sure you probably max E. If the cooldown goes down, we'll see. I don't really know. Blah blah blah. Aurelia. People max her E because it goes down in cooldown. Yep. Okay. So yeah, you wouldn't really. Yeah, this is definitely a max last thing still, because again, the on our W it scales with level, and the 80 ratio on this doesn't scale with level, which is also nuts. And the damage is kind of irrelevant that it deals with each rank up honestly. And so our E though, flawless duet, missile travel time was based on distance. Now it's 0.25 seconds. That pretty much just means there's a general rule of thumb. Instead of like, oh, she's right next to you and she places on top of you and you get instantly stunned. So this is a lot more counterplay. Remove CC recasting. E can only be recast while affected by crowd control. That's nuts. I didn't even know that was a thing. That sounds like extra power. Again, when Aurelia was reworked, she was so overloaded. There's still overloaded things on her kit, which is kind of hilarious. R Vanguard's Edge. Passive. Vanguard's Edge now reduces Q Blaze Surge cooldown by 0.5, 1.5, 2.5 seconds before ability haste. So I'll apply that and then I'll do ability haste. I'm gonna be honest. This looks broken. I'm not even joking. If you could just play safe until like level 3 or 5, you're just gonna destroy everyone. I'm not even joking. I honestly think this is broken. I'm not even joking. Like, I remember seeing people on Twitter talking about this, and like, what they end up with, like, dude, this is nuts. Everything about this is nuts. Like, this is barely like this is barely even counterplay. Honestly, I think the biggest counterplay they did was her E. She's very much easier to play, and in general, does a ton of damage. It kind of reminds me of Akali right now, where like they made her E so overloaded that like anyone can play her because it does so much damage. I just feel like she's really hard to mess up now, and she deals a ton of damage. because she has general rule of thumbs with like her E thing. Like I guarantee not many people even knew about the distance being important about the travel time. Like she's very like she's simpler to understand. And I'm gonna be honest. I honestly think this is overtuned. You can honestly hold me against that. I guarantee you this is overtuned and she's gonna get nerfed. I guarantee it. I actually guarantee she's gonna get nerfed because the magic resist reduction. This is because she has magic resist on her W. But yeah, that's kind of funny. This is 100% broken. Again, we're gonna see if people can play safe for 3 to 5 levels. Even her level 2 is good. It's just don't fight level 1 because I think some people are used to I think like fighting level 1 or 2 as Aurelia. You might be able to even still do that. Honestly, it's just very overloaded. I just see very high damage numbers, very good scaling, very high base ED ratios that don't scale with ability levels. And yeah, her ultimate's actually nuts because her Q didn't get like reduced cooldown or anything or like increased cooldown, so it's just faster. And some people might be like, oh, well, she always gets resets for her Q, but it's like, well, sometimes you might get an ult Q them, then like stun them, then Q, and that can matter quite a bit. And it can matter quite a bit if I don't know, like it says extra power like that just shouldn't be underestimated, especially with a hyper mobile skill like that. Is pretty much all I'm trying to say. So yeah, because this just all seems nuts. I'm just saying this is nuts. Okay, I'm actually done. This is just nuts. I realize OP. Go play her if you play top lane or mid. Ivan, E base damage. E. His E trigger seed is getting buffed. It was 80 to 200. Now it's 80 to 220. So pretty much, does he even max at first? I don't know. He probably does, honestly. Honestly, he definitely does. I don't even need to look. So it's 5 more each level. It's quite strong. I think they nerfed it before, so they're kind of rebuffing it. Again, the early game is pretty much the same. You're gonna start seeing the impact of it around level 5, 7, and 9. So quite interesting. Karma, base attack damage increase. It was 54. Now it's 51. They're pretty much just trying to remove her from solo lanes pretty much because she doesn't really auto you in support roles. So yeah, guess that's fine. So, there's a lot of big changes. Jeez. Lillia. Let me make sure I'm recording. I am recording. Okay. Lillia. Let's get into this. I'm just gonna go over it. Then I'll go over it again. This I did with Mundo Aurelia because there's a lot to go over. Health regen. It was 9. Now it's 7.5. Armor. It was 20. Now it's 22. Passive Dream Laden Bow, I think it's called. Damage was 5% of the target's maximum HP. Now it's 6% of the target's maximum HP plus 1.5% per 100 HP of the AP of the target's maximum HP. Cap damage against monsters unchanged. Let me analyze that again. 6%. So it's a bit strong. Okay. Lillia heals for 12 to 140 plus 12% AP health against champions and 18 plus 94 18 to 94 6% AP health against large monsters over the duration of the burn damage. Lillia can only heal off one monster at a time. I'm guessing it also means she can heal off multiple champions, which is quite interesting as well. One thing I don't like they don't say is it doesn't. Well, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going because I think it's very easy to do this like this. So Q, there's a lot of weird stuff, guys. Blooming blows. Cost was 45 mana. Now it's 65. That's quite a bit. Max pan stacks was 5. Now it's 4. Bonus movement speed per stack was 7 to 11 plus 1% per 100 AP. Now it's 3 to 7 plus 3% per 100 AP. Bonus movement speed duration was 5 seconds. Now it's 5.5 seconds. Time before stacks lost, it was 1 second. Now it's 1.5 seconds. Cooldown was 4 seconds. Now it's 6 to 4 seconds with her Q. Base damage was 30 to 90. Now it's 35 to 95. W damage was 70 to 130 plus 3% AP. Now it's 70 to 150 plus 35% AP. E swirl seed cooldown was 12 seconds, now it's 18 seconds. Slow was 25 to 45, now it's 40%. Base damage was 70 to 150, now it's 70 to 170. Her ultimate damage ratio was 3% AP, now it's 40% AP. Sleep duration was 2 to 3 seconds, now it's 1.5 to 2.5 seconds. Initial drowsy slow was 25%, now it's 10%. Removed, increased slow. Lilting, lullaby is slow, no longer increases. So a lot to go over here. Let me analyze this one thing though. So her Q got increased cooldown earlier. Goes to the same after rank 5. Damage went up a little bit. Probably because they buffed her passive damage and the cap is probably isn't. I don't think is reached early on with low EP anyway. So her passive pretty much does more damage. Her Q got nerfed a little bit, but because her Q now her passive now does the damage. It makes up the damage. Her passive makes up the damage. She doesn't build a lot of AP anyway because she's meant to be built as like a HP and AP items. Lillia. So the thing about Lillia healing is that I'm not sure. I'm guessing its level it's levels 1 through 18. It might even be something weird where it's levels 1 through 13. We don't really know. They don't explain what 12 to 140 means. It might just be. It might be. I'm guessing it's 1 to 18. Honestly, levels 1 through 18. As a flat 12 AP ratio. She heals quite a bit more from early on against monsters. Pretty much less punishing, less needed to take rid of hunters. So you can go boot magical footwear and that eyeball thing in the bottom left corner. Q costing more mana is okay considering the fact that's a longer cooldown anyway, so you won't be casting that much anyway. Another big thing is that you don't. So there's no more max prance stacks. So well, isn't necessarily good. Well, it's not as needed just because she scales very well with AP. So it's similar to Aurelia there. Um, Pretty much you need like 200 AP to have the same movement speed you used to have. But it's not that big deal because sometimes you were honestly like too fast to the point it doesn't really matter. But I'll be honest that it doesn't really matter that much because yeah, she's slower, but the bonus movement speed duration is 0.5 seconds longer, and the time before you lose a stack is 0.5 seconds longer. So yeah, so overall, yeah, so to lose a stack, there's an additional second added, so it's quite powerful. So that's good. Cooldown, but yeah. But yeah, pretty much you want to max your Q first, W second, and yeah, the E is definitely you do not max anymore. W is always fun to use. It's it's a very fair ability, honestly. So people might still do bad with Lillia. Her ultimate got hurt quite a lot, honestly, because she doesn't really build much AP anyway. You have to just proc it right away. Is it that big of a deal? Not really, honestly. It's not the biggest nerf in the world. It just gets countered by tenacity quite hard if someone builds tenacity early. The slow is quite big though, but I don't know. Overall though, I think you get to see how it plays out. She's definitely easier to play, and kind of goes against what Riot wanted with Aurelia originally, though. So it's kind of But what else do I think? I don't know. I don't know if she's OP or not. She might be fine. I'm not quite sure. This is something that you would need to test because the numbers are kind of everywhere. Honestly, depends on people play. Overall, though, she might be towards the strong side. Like, I think this is definitely at least a 50% win rate champion right here, though. Maybe not with Lillia. I don't know, because she still requires quite a bit of skill with her Q and her W and liner E and Wendell and stuff. So her ultimate's still important. It's just not as important, but it is so important. It is an ultimate. Her health regen getting nerfed isn't that big of a deal because her armor is higher as well. The fact that her passive has the AP ratio though is quite big as well. So that's quite strong. Also means that if you're poke with like Leandries and stuff, it might be very strong with your E and stuff. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm definitely even say it might even be OP, honestly. But I don't know. It's definitely very strong. So, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. She might be OP, maybe not. We'll see. Malzahar, health was 537, now it's 510. Damage ratio on his Q was 65% AP, now it's 55 AP, 55% AP. That's quite a big nerf, honestly. I haven't really seen Malzahar personally, but apparently he's been showing up. I guess he got overbuffed because of the mythics getting reduced, so yeah, he's been having play. Uh, he's just pretty much a little bit more squishy, and the AP ratio on his Q is a bit weaker, so I don't know how I feel about that. I haven't really seen him, so I can't really say much about that. Q Nocturne. Oh my gosh. Uh, Umbral Blades went out. Damage and healing is decreased by 50% against minions. So that's actually quite big. That I thought it was just healing. The damage is also lowered by 50% against minions. That hurts the Nocturne's pushing power quite a bit because it's not even just healing; it's also the damage. That's actually crazy. Um, there's also more nerfs to Nocturne, I believe, because they nerfed Strybreaker and stuff. Some people were going wild, saying like, "Oh, this is a nerf to nerf Nocturne," but it's like, well, a big reason why Nocturne's strong is because Strybreakers are overtuned. So we'll see what happens with that. This is a very good nerf though, because Nocturne does not belong in a lane. Rek'Sai Queen's Wrath. Base damage was 20 to 40. Now it's 21 to 45. Praise Seeker, it was 60 to 180. Damage now it's 60 to 200. Um, Pretty much it's just because Prowler's Call got nerfed or whatever. I'll be honest, Rek'Sai is probably already really strong, so I honestly don't think she needed the buff. It's a very small buff. It's more noticeable. I think the biggest buff about, because again, her Q pretty much got 15 damage added in total at rank 5, which is quite kind of big, honestly, because her Rek'Sai's Q is very deadly, especially with lethality, which is what the build that she tends to do. And the base damage on the Q, Praise Seeker, that's just better poke because they nerfed that and it kind of didn't hurt anymore, but now it kind of hurts a bit more. Seraphine Q damage increase. Damage ratio was 40 to 60% AP. Now it's 45 to 65% AP. Just to make her scale better, probably to encourage playing mid lane more or being aggressive, honestly. Shaco health was 585, 87. Now it's at 560. And movement speed was 350. Now it's 345. So I guess he's just been too strong in general. Kind of unfun the verse. Too slippery. Movement speed hurts him a lot because it makes him not as slippery. And he's a bit more squishy. 27 HP is nothing to scoff at, so that's interesting. Tom Kent's changes again. Bonus damage on his passive, it was 2.5% of maximum HP. Now it's 12 to 60 plus 2.5% bonus HP. Levels 1 through 18. How do I feel about that? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's around the same anyway, so who cares? Acquired Taste, with its Q. Tongue Lash now also deals damage from passive and Acquired Taste to enemy champions. So they brought that back. That's nice. Nice. It's also only to enemy champions. I don't think it's too many monsters, which is kind of lame. So, rip. Heal was 6 to 10% of missing HP. Now it's 15 to 35 plus 4 to 6% of missing HP. Yeah, flat heal's pretty good, so that helps him sustain. So yeah, so that's good. Pretty much encourages him to poke more in lane. Abyssal Dive W. Bug fix the bug where Abyssal Dive's cooldown refund did scale down with ability haste. That's kind of funny, so I actually probably end up doing nothing. Cooldown mana cost refund was 30%, now it's 40%. That's quite big as well. It's kind of funny they even buffed that considering there was a bug anyway, so, well. Devour base shield was 300 to 600, now it's 400 to 600, so 100 more level 1, or level 1 of the ult, and level 2 of the ult, it's 50 more. Ally self slow was 40 to 10%, now it's 30 to 10%. Ally self slow, I'm guessing just means him. I don't know what that means. Whatever. I think it just means when he's slowed. I don't know. That's just weird. Fix the bug where he could devour an enemy with full stacks of acquired taste if you cue the spell before the stacks fall off. Lol, that's kind of funny. Tarik, Q Sterilized Touch cost was 70 to 90 mana. Now it's 65 to 85. That's quite big. And because he could spam that dazzle with 60 mana, now it's 40 mana. That's also really big. Yeah, the thing about Tarik is that he's very strong. There's people not good at managing his mana. That's absolutely insane. I definitely guarantee you'll see Tarik because he's a very strong champion. Just no one really picks him for some reason. So that's quite strong. Then Zhao, W cooldown was 12 to 6 seconds. Now it's 12 to 8 seconds. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this nerf does anything at all. Like, the problem is that he's too bursty, honestly. He's too bursty, too point and click. They didn't nerf his burst a little bit, honestly. Because he's bursty, he's ridiculous sustain with his ultimate survivability. I really don't think this is the nerf because even the nerf itself doesn't even do anything. Like I'll be honest, this nerf doesn't do anything. So yeah, he's still broken. Ziggs mana cost was 4. His base mana was 40. Now it's 40. 420. Um, Probably because the buffs and then maybe even the mythic. So I don't know. Nothing to really say there. I don't really see any Ziggs in my games anyway. Dead Man's Play, armor was 40, now it's 45. Probably because everyone just stopped building and all the people who built it fell out of favor, so now they're just slightly buffing it again. Lol. Um, Stridebreaker, big changes. Attack damage was 40, now it's 45. Yeah, because when you actually finish this item, you actually lost 5 AD, which is funny, so that's a bug fix essentially, honestly. Uh, its HP was 400, now it's 300. Halting slash slow was 90%, decaying to 40% over 3 seconds. Now it's 40% for 3 seconds. Dream Shatter, this is Orange upgrade is pretty much the same stuff. That I don't need to talk about anything with that. How do I feel about this? Well, the attack damage is a bug fix, so that's a buff that it should have had to begin with. It pretty much has 100 HP less, and the slow is still very strong, just not 90% strong. Um, Good swim is pretty good against it because then it's only like a 30% slow. But a slow is a very 30% slow is very strong even if you below build with the swim. Still a very strong item in all honesty. So interesting stuff. Uh, Zillion got visual effects. Yada yada yada. Lucian got visual effects. Visual effect bugs when wrecked in. Some game mode called Ultimate Spellbook with ultimates. Yeah, we'll play that if you care, I guess. Yep, I'm not gonna talk about that really. Chat restrictions. We're making under the hood change to move leagues penalties onto our riot-wide system. The only immediate impact is a change to how chat restrictions work, since the riot-wide system used time-based restrictions. New chat restrictions will be issued in 3 to 7 day increments rather than 10 to 25 game increments. Yeah, so again, this is about the whole fact that they want to make the riot count thing. So yeah, so I'm guessing again I've never been chat restricted, so I don't really know. Like, so I'm guessing it's when you're chat restricted, it's 10 games or 25 games, so now it's 3 to 7 days. So yeah, that's just I don't know. I guess that's fine. Um, Bug fixes and qual life changes. Um, Fix the memory leak with champion mastery tooltips. Banner slot display in party lobbies. Fix the bug where if a player's inspector slot in a custom game, when the lobby is suspended, they are taken to a black home screen. Fix the bug where Caston's passive Voidstone and Fizz's passive Nimble Fighter were improperly ignoring Union Collision after death. That's funny. So that's quite a big buff to Fizz and Caston. Fix the bug where Yasuo's E. I also don't even know it hasn't had Union Collision or like you can walk through things. That's hilarious. Fix the bug where Yasuo's E sweeping blades sometimes fail. That champion's easy as hell then honestly. Fix the bug where Yasuo's E sweeping blades sometimes failed to play the proper animation and ran really fast instead. Lol, that's kind of funny. Galley is no longer able to flash while channeling W shield Ren if timed correctly with Hextech flash trapture. Interesting. I guess that's a nerve. I've never seen that. Chilling and Channeling Spine now probably play visual effects upon spine monsters. Binding Anathema is active to a target no longer counts as a spell activation. I guess that's a change to like Tears of Goddess and like I don't know some other champions. I guess. Fix the bug where Silas was able to apply stacks of Tom Kincher's stolen ability passive and acquire taste on his enemies. Fix the bug where Steric's gauge would always activate during Sion's glory and death, even if it's on cooldown. That's a really bad bug. Um, that's kind of funny because I think I actually versus Sion that builds a Spheric Gauge, so it's kind of funny that like people just abuse fucking bugs, honestly. Healing projectiles from Divine Sword no longer interrupt attack windups. Um, healing projectiles. That's a very weird thing. I'm not sure what the hell that even means. Um, I'm guessing when a heal is going to just like makes you stop attack or something. The debuff icon from Abyssal Mass passive now displays in the buff bar of the immobilized enemy champion. Fix the bug when purchasing Stirring Siphon, and then a control word could not be undone. Fear's W, rip, whatever you call it, sound will now play when successfully blocking non-immobilized damage on base and all skins. Interesting. I think I actually noticed that honestly. Fiora's Grand Challenge success or failure sound will now play correctly on all. Yeah, I'll be honest. I think there was something. Yeah, I don't think I noticed that stuff. Some skins, some chromas. Okay, that's it. Yeah, a lot of changes honestly. Aurelia's OP. Mundo jungle's quite strong. It was already strong. Graves got buffed because of skin. Yada yada. So yeah, if you liked it, I'll leave a comment or something. Yeah, that's it. Bye.